Oh, so they don't call here?
Oh, I'm not sure actually if he's going to be initiating the call or not. I didn't think of
Because
that.
Isabella said the call was scheduled for 7 o'clock their time, so I thought they
So
would
if he's
call.
going to call here, all
Or
right,
do-
let me see if that's the case,
You call
because
in the
these
office.
lines are not connected. Let me go check.
Okay.
I'm gonna go around and grab other notes real quick too.
Okay.
Okay, say that again? Want to bring her? Deborah, we're gonna take it in our suite, so if you want to bring
Yeah.
you can leave if you're
Yeah, I'm just
done with the
gonna
coffee.
bring
I mean, with the tea.
I can leave my handbag here?
No, let's take it.
Okay.
Are you done with your tea?
Yes, I am.
Okay. We'll leave that, but I don't
Okay.
want to leave the handbag anywhere.
Okay, I'll leave this here too. I'll be back. Thank you. Look, 'cause I was like, isn't the prison gonna call
They
here?
did. They just called.
Oh, okay. Good.
But Matt decided to take it over there instead of over here.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
We'll do this in Nick's office because the phone's a lot closer.
Okay.
for
So
you
he
here.
called in, they called already?
Yeah, hold on.
Okay, great. I could pull it up?
Good morning.
Yeah,
he's right.
He's right.
Okay.
Hi, is Mr. Holbrooks?
You should be able to hear.
Huh?
Be able to hear.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi, is Dr. York?
Yeah?
Hi, this is Attorney Matthew Tripoli. I'm here with Deborah. How are you?
Rahul Bad Baba, it's me, Tabajet.
I say that again.
It's me, Tabajet, Baba.
Oh, that was it. Okay.
Yes, Rahul Bad.
Hi, doctor. How are you? Nice to meet you.
I'm doing my best.
I understand under the circumstances. So
Yeah.
I was contacted. I specialize in post-conviction cases, appeals. So we do cases, all over the country. I'm out of Miami. And basically Deborah found me because she's looking for a way to use some of this recanted testimony in your favor. And so we've been speaking, and there's a few things that I think we can do for you.
Yeah.
Number one is the evidence that's against you, the recanted statements that will work in your favor.
Yeah.
A lot of these statements go back to just a few months after trial in 2004, okay? So technically, under federal law, you have to make a motion for newly discovered evidence within a maximum of 4 years, okay?
Yeah.
But we're gonna get to good news. So the good news is that there is something relatively new called the First Step Act, which allows for a compassionate release motion, which is a motion in which we're going to argue that it's an equitable thing to do for the for the court to order your release because you're not a danger to the community. And in order to prove that, we're going to use this recanted testimony. Okay?
Yeah.
So it's a roundabout way to argue newly discovered evidence. It's a newly discovered evidence motion by another name. Okay?
Yes.
The other thing I want to explore is your Liberian citizenship and diplomatic status. Have you ever applied for a treaty transfer to Liberia?
I've already have, and it's been confirmed, a treaty transfer, but not to Liberia. I was born in Ghana, in Ghana. Ghana stepped forward because I have family there, and they petitioned to the government of Ghana about the prison transfer treaty and the 112 they call it. And Ghana stepped in on my behalf and dealt with the State Department here, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here, as well as in Ghana, and it's already been confirmed that I got the documentation and everything.
Oh, great.
And my prisoner transfer has been accepted. And
By Ghana.
now I'm just waiting for, I think they have a situation where they wait until there's a certain amount of applicants on the plane, I guess. But
Well, no, that's only if you're approved. So
it's already been approved.
it's
Oh, wow.
the
And my transfer treaty has been approved.
okay.
The delay at this point, sir, is that like when Ghana is, the people from Ghana left, the ministry of Ghana left for Liberia last week. And they went to Liberia because they're telling Liberia, why haven't y'all repatriated Mr. York? We have all the documentation. The president of Liberia confirmed my diplomatic status and my naturalized citizenship. And that we have the letters and everything stamped and everything. So they went there to say, well, listen, we already have the prisoner transfer treaty, but we want to confirm that when Mr. York is moved in the motion, that he moves as a diplomat, so he does not end up in ICE in some cage in a paper
Right.
somewhere.
Right.
Well, but
He is a diplomat. So all of that has been done already, and now we're just sitting here. I'm just sitting here waiting because last week, every week I get this phone call and these letters from different lawyers, like 4 lawyers working on that.
So
in the States.
have you been to court?
As well as in Africa. So it's already done. It's just a matter of now waiting for them to come collect me.
Have you been to court yet?
I beg your pardon?
Have you been to court yet as part of that process?
No, I don't. I didn't have to go to court for that. All of that was done by
That's not
way
true.
of the. Let me look at this paper here. By way
Can you
of
bring the
documents
phone over
of-
here?
I can't move it. It's
Down to. I didn't anticipate this conversation, so give me a moment.
Oh, I apologize.
No, because
I had no way of communicating with you to let you know that I was trying to get an attorney. It's not just myself, others. We wanted to know, the family. We haven't been hearing anything to find out what's going on with you, your health, your whole
But there's
situation.
been a lot of updates. There's, like the attorney just mentioned, there's another attorney, his name is Mr. Roger Adler, and he was doing the same thing. He went back and investigated all of the inconsistencies in the trial. For instance, especially when it came to Mr. Jonathan Marks and Mrs. Biba Washington, when she had recanted and did a testimony, and that they were fearing that the time had run out, the statute had run out, and it did run out during that period of time, so they superseded with something new.
Right.
But they looked back over there and found out that wasn't supposed to happen. So the only reason why we're not addressing it at this moment is because we already filed all the different forms, and we said, let's get Mr. York out of this country and back on his own soil, and then we will proceed to attack those violations. For instance, holding court
You can't.
on Dr.
You
Martin
can't.
Luther King's birthday,
You can't.
a federal violation.
he's getting bad advice because none of this is true.
Initially, the people had found a hung jury, and then the judge forced them after the final statement and the government rested, and they saw that they were going to have problems. They brought in after they rested, they reopened and put somebody on the stand again, which was enough. So they got a list of violations that took place because it was, and then on top of that, on June the 3rd, when I was in court, when they spoke about the so-called plea agreement, and I made it very clear to the judge at that time, which was not Royals. I said, when he gave me the opportunity to speak, and I said, first and foremost, the Garland firm, the Garland firm is not even supposed to be here because I removed them. They're
Right.
not supposed to be here. Second of all, I'm under VC, which they simply refers to as under duress. The judge asked me then, he said, what do you mean, Mr. York? I said, Your Honor, I was under duress. There's a file that I filed of torture that was backed up while they moved me from Atlanta down to Howard Richard Shields prison so they could torture me
Right.
into so-called a plea
Dr. York, I mean, rather than the two of you kind of rehashing all of the same parade of terribles that has happened, I think let's focus on things that are going to work, because whoever's advising you on the fact that, first of all, that your treaty transfer has been approved if you have not been to court, that's not true. There's what's called an acceptance hearing.
Excuse me, sir. With all due respect, I have the documentation with the government seal on it, and it has been approved. And the moment we hang up, I have 2 more calls with them, because I just today the telephone call. So what you need, which would be best to do, would be to contact the attorneys.
Okay.
And like Mr. Tucker's office, because I'm going to be speaking today, tomorrow,
Okay.
and I'll be speaking to Hotep's attorney after I speak to you in Africa. So all of this, I have spoken to the firm. I'm looking at the document right here where the Bureau of Prisons here
Perfect.
and the warden here have received a direct from the U.S. from the Ministry of Counsel, Mr. Joseph Nimwabe, right, of Washington D.C. From the
Yay!
they already. I'm looking at the stuff. It's already done.
Well, that's excellent. If it's
Yay!
approved here, I'm just telling you, because sometimes Ghana, if the process was started in Ghana, the Ghana officials can approve it, and not the U.S. officials. But the judge also has to approve it in what's called an acceptance hearing.
The U.S. because of the diplomatic status in the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, Article 36, they made it clear today, America, the receiving state, has no authority. So the judge wouldn't have any right or authority over me because of jurisdictional laws. That was ignored during the trial. The most important point that would be feasible would be if we were to say discovery of new evidence would be that during his trial, Mr. York repeatedly told them he's under duress and that he's a secure party, that he is a foreign diplomat, and they ignored it. They stole his diplomatic passport and his diplomatic paperwork at the arrest.
And how is that newly discovered?
And we retrieved them once the men finished. Once Mr. Taylor, because I worked with Mr. Taylor, Charles Taylor appointed me. And Mr. Taylor got arrested after me, and all the documentation was removed from Liberia to Sierra Leone, and from Sierra Leone to London, where his trial took place. And I had to wait until 2014 to get all the confirmation that, yes, Mr. York took an oath of allegiance to Liberia, thus would have lost his citizenship in America just by taking an oath of allegiance to a foreign government and or taking a job as a consular general, full consular general, not an honorary, and I had the passports and everything. So the argument would be when the 2255 and stuff was being filed, that they should have presented right there, Mr. York is a diplomat, a consul general. Now that has been confirmed by the president of Liberia, and my birth and the government of Ghana has put America on the spot and asked them to present any documentation of this man being born in Boston or anybody's name in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, put together documentation showing there was never a man called Dwight York or Dwight D. York born in Boston. And Ghana presented, this is his birth certificate, this is his family line, this is his bloodline. So y'all are holding, but that's the argument that the sheriff in Putnam County was so obsessed with taking the land and toppling us that he just violated every law, and now it's coming home to roost.
Ooh.
Where's that way for me to excuse me for taking control for the phone, but at this point it would be best if y'all would kind of speak with Mr. Tucker's office, and they will put you in contact with the.
Well. First of all, let me see. I mean, I called you not realizing that you had present legal counsel. So.
Yeah, I have like 5 different attorneys.
Okay. All right. So I guess at this point, unless you want to speak to me, I can't speak to you if you've got 5 different lawyers. So.
Well, you can speak to the other attorneys, and they can.
Yeah, you can.
You understand that some of the ideas that you have that might be feasible could probably help.
Right, and then you can figure out, like, because if you're saying
that's not going to work. That's
right,
5 attorneys won't agree on lunch, let alone how to do this strategy with the case. So.
Right, but you just said that you disagreed with him not going to court. So maybe perhaps the attorneys can explain to you.
Because they're misleading him, because they're lying to him. I don't believe. I've done treaty transfer cases. I know how
Hey,
the process
then
works.
let me say this. Okay, can y'all hear me?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm holding a document in my hand right now. Minister of Foreign Affairs, Regional Integration Facts, and it says from Foreign Government of Accra, Ghanaian Embassy, Washington D.C., Head of Mission, the Honorable Minister, and it gives his name, and it gives us the
That's not an
documentation.
approval by the United
Number
States.
says, request for council assistance on behalf of Dr. Malachi Corbone, New York. It goes into explaining there how, on this document, about the prisoner transfer treaty and when it was reactivated as of July 2019 when we first petitioned it. And then the next one, it repeats, goes over that, explains that, it goes into how it was confirmed. All these are documents are holding my hand. I'm reading it's about 10 of them. When it got confirmed, it says the declaration about David confirming Dr. Malachi Corbone as a Ghanaian national and citizen of the Republic of Ghana.
Right.
Updated 2001. So they first of all they had to confirm that I was not American, and never was an American citizen, that I was born in Africa, and that was and that the name Dwight D or whatever is a misnomer and should not. Then they proceeded to file for under Article 36 of the Vienna Convention on Relations, right, in relation to Dr. York's my diplomatic status, and they petitioned, and I got the petition and the forms that they filed with the government of the United States, and then I got what they call one more thing. I'll let you have in a minute. Then it says to whom it may concern. And then because Liberia had to be certified, it said to whom it may concern, exclusive and authentic authentication of affidavit is to certify that the certificate of citizenship officially printed, notarized, and issued by the courts during my tenure that Dr. Malachi Corbone, New York, on December 15, 1999, based on court mandates dated on the 26th of 1999, is authentic, consistent with the aliens and nationality law of the Republic of Liberia. So Liberia had to step in and confirm my naturalized citizenship, as well as Ghana stepped in and confirmed my natural citizenship. So all of this is in place now. So, like I said, the best option is to, if there's an intent to help and to be hired to be a part of it, it does not bother me. It helps. Anything that would help to get this, expedited,
right.
With me. But all the time, it's true that the United States has been informed and put on notice by Ghana for the prisoner transport in accordance to the Convention on Transfer, Station Person ET-112.
You don't have to cite the law to me. I understand.
Okay.
So who are the lawyers? Roger Adler.
The lawyer is Tucker.
Tucker.
Right? That's a lawyer in America. But the lawyers in Africa. If I start pronouncing their name, we'll keep you all day.
No. Who are the lawyers in America?
Yes. Okay. You have Mr. Tucker.
Charles Tucker.
Charles Tucker.
Tucker. You know Imhotep. Victoria Gracio. What's the other one?
Who is Imhotep?
Oh, you remember Mr. Bundy?
Oh, Mr. Bundy. Okay.
What's his full name?
Well, Mr. Bundy hired another attorney who got on it, but they're dealing with the subject that y'all were dealing with the compassionate release and all that, pertaining to my age, my health, and different things. So they went back in and contacted Mr. Jonathan Marks, who was representing me, doing a retirement of Habib Washington and showing them all these errors. They said, oh man, this is brought back. Because the statute didn't run out on that. That's violation to the Judicial Commission. Because royalty was brought up.
I just want to get closer to the phone.
I'm more concerned with the fact that what they call it, the transfer has already been confirmed. And I just want to be like on my own soil and fight my battle from there.
Right. So, is there a way that we can get a copy so that we can review the documents that you have?
I don't know if the lawyers will give you a copy until they come, but I would think that you would already know these. You should have been told about these a while back.
Right, I heard of.
But there is no compassionate release motion pending. There isn't one.
I can't hear you.
There is no compassionate release motion pending.
Well, if you contact Mrs. Victoria Brasio.
No, but I don't have to contact a lawyer to find out what's been filed in federal court. I look at the docket. I'm looking at your docket right now that was just printed this morning. There is no compassionate release motion.
Right, because they're working on that.
Oh, they're working on it.
That's the stuff they're putting together, right?
Okay.
I would tell them I'm not interested in compassionate release. I'd rather be dead than to be left in the custody of these irrational people. I've been under the custody of people.
Of course.
They have a tendency with a God complex to just totally ignore the statutes of their own government. They just say anything. They're letting the sheriff get away just because he's a racist. They just let him do this. And I'd rather not even. I would not want to be under some house arrest with a thing on my leg like an animal just to make these people feel like they're superior. I'm an African, a diplomat with a PhD. They would have fabricated a whole PSR with a fake personality and everything else and lies just to take my land. And that frustrates me. And I did 20 years on lies. Those people tried to come back and tell them we were lying. But they didn't want. No, we don't want to hear that because we want to take his land. The sheriff's mouth was, I finally got that nigger. That's what he said.
I remember.
Because he lost cases to me against the land when I filed as a Native American and we got a Native American status under 115. He got mad because he couldn't tell us what to do on our land. So he just was out to get me. And I said, he's not worth it. So I left and went back to Africa. And he wasn't satisfied with that.
Yeah.
So I would prefer to contact the attorneys who while we're talking to when I get off the phone.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'll let them know that your guys are trying to contact them because y'all want to know the truth. Because in case some people's lying, you be there to say they're lying.
Okay.
Right. And so, other than that, what's going on with you? Like, how are you feeling? How was your health?
I got the shots, the 2 shots, right? And I told everybody don't go nowhere near the Johnson & Johnson shot or the one that they sent to Ghana. I told the government don't use that one, only use the Moderna, right? If you think you need it because it's a targeted virus for one, which is. But that's not saying. I'm fine as far as that. After 20 years, the greatest thing is that everything is in the process finally.
Right.
And the lawyers are saying, literally, you're coming home, Pop, stop. Don't even worry. Stuff is done.
Okay.
That's it.
Good.
And so I feel good about that. Right?
Okay. So you said you took 2 shots. You did take 2 shots. You took the Moderna.
Yes, I had. They gave all the inmates because I'm 75, so all the elders. And now my problem is that a couple of the terrorists I'm on the same tier with, right?
Mm-hmm.
They feel that they don't like America so much, but so they're not taking their vaccines, and that puts some of us who ain't anti-America, you know what I'm saying, who took the vaccine in danger sometimes. Because I'm like, they walking by, I'm like, this guy, you could call on me now, right?
Terrible.
And I'm like, you all hated America, you tried, you lost, take the shot and shut up. You know what I'm saying? Because you eat the food, you eat the food every day, you go to commissary, you know that, but you don't want to take the Moderna shot. And put us other people who ain't anti-America, we're in danger of your craziness. You don't say that to them because you don't want conflict, but you're thinking it, you know. You just,
Sure.
You know, when they hate me, you know they hate me anyway because I'm a black Jew. That makes them hate me more. So.
All right, Dr. York. Well,
So,
glad to hear you're well.
Okay, so is there? There was some other questions that I had.
Go ahead.
What about your privileges? Because it's been 5 years, and you're only allowed to write certain people, and only certain people in the tribe is allowed to get information, while others are pushed out. And it's not fair, because it's been a very long time, and there are many of us who care, and we don't want to just keep hearing information from the same individuals all the time, telling us the same things, and they're very vague and they're not very clear. And it's just a very foggy, groggy situation. And it makes many of us very sad, because especially speaking for myself, I put a lot of hard work into helping you for so many years. And I just disagree with others being privileged to information, and myself not being able to
One thing is that Mrs. Victoria Browder, you know her, right?
Yes.
She got the documentation, paper trail, and everything. She's getting ready to file on those restrictions and all those violations that you're speaking about. She's getting ready to file on those sometime this week, right? Well, no, sometime last week. But you call her to find out about that. Those are things that they set up in place just to torment. They thought they had a case. They thought they had things. They thought they had it open and closed, and it's not. And that's the problem. And now that they have governments calling them. And then another thing that's very important, I'm glad you're there.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the man that you contacted from Georgia, with the white hair. He had the white hair and he had the birthmark on his face, and he worked for the Judicial Committee.
Hank Johnson. Mm-hmm.
You remember you contact with him?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then he said someone from the State Department said I was an American citizen.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, now that the governments have confirmed it wrong, that means they lied to him, because we tried to back up that paper that they said was that document, and that document was not official. There was no official docket numbers coming from the State Department. Somebody wrote that and just sent it. So he needs to know they lied to him back then.
Right.
He attempted to get help.
Right, but the people who lied to him was it was the 3 people that were at the meeting, because remember, I was supposed to be in that meeting and they did not want me there. After I set the meeting up, it was Fatima York, Charles Mallory, and Secretary Nippy, and they actually did not want me at that meeting.
Well, they wasn't the person that know the letter supposed to came from the State Department. You had a copy of it. I have a copy of my file. Came from the State Department with no official number on it, and they would not sign it off on the which official in the government is the person who signed it. There was no signature. Just there, the United States State Department says that Mr. York is a citizen of the United States, and that because the case was started before he supposed to became a diplomat, therefore all that was a lie. That had nothing to do with our side. That had to do with their side lying to Mr. Johnson to shut him down.
Right.
So I was saying he needs to know that whoever sent him that letter, we had lawyers tracked it down. It never came from the State Department.
Okay.
Or it came from somebody sitting on a desk there, but nobody official. It was not an official letter, and that's part of our case also, tracking down who was that person who did that letter, because that's a violation of international laws. They're playing with national. They like to keep people in their own little circle. You have to understand that. It's called a box.
Right.
I don't like the fact that the Vienna Convention, that America is just a signature of the Vienna Convention. America don't control the laws of the Vienna Convention or none of the articles of it. They just another country. And if they interfere with how diplomats and foreign governments are controlled and affect them, then that can affect American diplomats in foreign countries. They become endangered. If they start doing to me, like, we're going to just hold Mr. York because he's black, and we don't like black people, then the people in Ghana rises up, or the people in Liberia rise up like they did in Pakistan with that woman that they refused, a diplomat who they refused to send home, right?
Right, I remember her.
They closed the Pakistanians or whatever they was in India.
They were
the
Indian,
embassies and
yes.
said, "When all you American diplomats out of here." If Ghana is not no punk, weak country like Liberia, Ghana is a powerful country that America depends on for resources.
Right.
The Ghanaian government said, he's one of us, born here, this is his mother, we got the documents, his birth certificate, his brothers and sisters, we want our man home. If he
Do you have the names of the? Okay, so what about Can we write each other? Can you write me?
Yeah, but he'll block it. See, that's what I'm saying.
Who is the person that's gonna block it?
Listen, even though I'm on the computer, okay, and I talk to Victoria and I'm on the computer, I can email back and forth. I put your name on the computer, your address and everything on the computer, and they'll just put a red dot next to it and say, no, you can't contact her. But then I say, okay, you got all these people, for instance, Collins on it approved in a green dot, right? But every time I write her, they send the letter back. Say, well, you can't. I say, wait, the computer says I can't. That means the BOP has confirmed it. But the people here are afraid because they know once this case opens up all of the violations that they've been doing, people are going to lose their jobs. You see?
Right.
That is their fear. They're like, oh man, this. And they're like, who did this? Who's this SIS tech? Well, they keep changing the SIS tech. The lawyers have all their names, all that. We have a folder on them because the international court got involved. But America was ignoring the international court under Mr. Trump. But Biden is going to put the United States back in the international court because he has no fear of war crimes like Mr. Trump or Mr. Bush had. You understand?
Yes. So what can I do? Because I just can't sit back and just not do anything and allow this to take place year after year after year and not.
Darling, there's no more years. There's no more years. I'll be out home in a matter of weeks or months.
Okay.
The most it'll be months. I'll be home. It's already done. You know, the U.S. State Department, we hired them and contacted them. The U.S. State Department called me.
They called you there?
They called me here and said, Mr. York, not repatriation, your prison transfer treaty has been confirmed, and on the phone was the embassy in Washington, D.C. of Ghana. It's already been confirmed. I'm just waiting for when. I'm sitting there nervous wreck. When I heard I had 3 phone calls a day, I was like, oh boy, they're getting ready to tell me when they're coming.
Oh.
It's done already. I'm ready to go. So those people, they got it done. The problem is the mental disease of people not cooperating with each other because everybody thinks they're right. Everybody thinks they're right. They was ignoring the lawyers and ignoring it. Remember the other legal team you had, the Italians?
Yes.
They were good people. They was on their way to getting some serious stuff done, but they didn't know how to do a 2241. When I read, I said, he doesn't know what he's doing.
Right.
And so this is what, if you're going to say new evidence, the new evidence is you sentenced a man who is a foreigner, that the documentation in the PSR and the PSI are incorrect. Who did that? Mr. Mason and Macon. Who is Mr. Mason and Macon? Associate of Mr. Seals and Mr. Adams. Who is Mr. We had to put that took years to put that type of paper line together to track it down. Jonathan Moss, why did you remove the new hearing that was refiled for a new trial? Because the lead witness, Mrs. Washington, says we lied. We all were lying.
But wasn't Jonathan Marks hired by Sakina?
No, Jonathan Marks was hired by me because me and Jonathan Marks used to go to the same temple in New York. He was my old attorney from the time that I got Wally and them out. Right? He didn't sell me out. They cornered he. And they got rid of, if you remember, they got rid of Habib or whatever his name is, Washington's the lawyer that day. His name was Dwight. He was out of Augusta, Georgia.
Right, I remember him.
They got rid of him and brought in one of the local lawyers from Macon, Georgia. You know, who just took his hood off before he came upstairs. Right? And they had scared Abigail and said, if you repent, then you're going to be guilty of perjury and you're going to be locked up for life, and your father is going to go to jail because he testified on Mr. Young's behalf, and they petrified her, but the transcript says other than that if you read the transcript.
Right.
Because you got 2 tape recorders.
Right.
And written statements or affidavits that she corrected. That's the main point that the firm is saying. Wait a minute. The lawyer typed it up and then gave it to her. She said, no, let me correct this. And she confirmed it. That right there. And then on top of that, let me finish. Liberia filed an amicus brief. And in their amicus brief, they confirmed that Abiba Washington as a lead witness of the government. She was the number 1
Right.
government. what do you call that? When they're not sure, what do you call that in legal terms?
What is it called
When you're not sure?
when
I
it's
don't
not a huh?
Reasonable
Doubt, yeah,
doubt.
without beyond reasonable doubt.
Both of y'all are speaking at the same time. I hear you say.
Reasonable doubt.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you, sir. That's what lawyers are for. Right. Because people recanted with 2 written statements plus 2 videos, and then the other people came and said, well, that's not true, Mr. York never touched us, blah, 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 blah. That was it.
Yeah.
It was stuck. The case would have went out. And the bad thing about it is, when you get caught up in these kind of cases where they make a big deal out of it, and they throw in children and all kind of perverted stuff that's in their minds, the embarrassment of the media saying, wait a minute, you mean tell me this is a lie? Mr. York doesn't have any venereal diseases? No. Mr. York doesn't have 100 children? No. Mr. York doesn't. When you get all that kind of stuff, where does insanity come from? Sure. Why? Because Mr. York won a case against him. And who else? You remember? Because Mr. York won a suit, a tort.
Right.
Royals, because Royals was a judge, was an attorney for Oconee Hospital when my wife's father died there, and we filed a tort. And I was
Right.
advising Fatima Richardson back and forth to
Right.
Mr. Royals'
Yup.
office while he was an attorney. Once the doctor, who was honest, finally broke down and cried during one of the meetings and said, well, I'm very sorry, but it's my fault. I let the sponge hit Mr. Richardson. That's why he died. Royals removed himself from the case.
Right. Right. I remember.
And then, months after, I made the other judge, he said, after I told him I was under duress, he said, I'm removing myself. He recused himself from my case, and they went and got Judge Royals. The moment Judge Royals saw my name, he is supposed to say,
I can't sit on this case. Yes.
but I'm the one
That's
who
what I was
goes
trying to
and
say.
from Dr. Mr. Thompson saying that you can't get on the staff at Oconee because you belong to the Masonic Lodge under a cult leader, Mr. York. Remember that?
Yes, I remember.
And that you were the lead attorney on a tort that Mr. York's family won against Oconee Hospital on your behalf. He was not supposed to be on the case. He immediately should have said, I can't be on this case, so this would be a conflict of interest. But he went on with the case, denied every time we brought it up, he just denied every motion, and even in the final, when the jury said, we can't honestly say this man is guilty. He said, we dressed this and took it downstairs and threatened him.
So
I want a guilty plea.
Is he gonna get away with that?
No, we can't, but because we was in their environment, that's why they moved it to Brunswick, New Georgia, because that was the county of that judge. That's where he did all his practicing. And they would get away with it because they thought it was going to be hush-hush. We got him, he's locked up, he got life, his people will fade away, they'll disappear. They don't know us.
Right. Right.
They didn't know I was a diplomat. They didn't know I had a PhD. He told them I never had an education. I speak 19 languages.
He does.
Translate languages. I was translating when I got arrested.
Yeah.
These people are crazy, but they're so racist, and it's sad to see the end result of it today. Look at today.
I know.
Today because of the kind of minds like that.
I know. Everybody's going to Ghana too. Everybody's.
Because Ghana opened up and said everybody could become a Ghanaian citizen, and they said, "Come on home."
Everybody's going there. It's
People
people.
just fed up.
Yeah, speaking of Ghana, there's a sister who wanted me to let you know that your son Faisal is going to be in the UK and she's going to be staying by him. I mean, he's going to be staying with her. And he did some beautiful music for you too. It's really beautiful.
My son, who?
Your son Faisal,
I thought Faisal was in Germany.
well, he's in UK now.
Oh, God.
He's with the sister Juliet Sharp, and her husband name was Horace Wright. She said he used to always say, "How's your husband Horace Wright?" He used to always ask her how her husband was all the time.
I know it is. I know that, but I know they better be careful of him. People in music do anything to get a record.
Well, no, he did a music about you. It's
I don't
about
care if it's about me or it's about Santa Claus. People, every time you see a march or anything going on outside, you're going to see somebody sitting around banging on the drum or strumming a guitar, and they're just there because they want people to hear them sing. I was in the music business
I know.
would do anything to get that public eye. Anything. You remember when Jackson's sister took her breath out?
Yeah. Yes.
They just rip it out. They'll do anything to get in the public eye. Remember this. People in music business are crazy.
Okay.
Just watch Revolt one day and see how these women took on this new program Revolt, where everybody's just shaking their butts like animals.
I know. I
I
know.
sound like an old man, but that's what I am.
No, but it's the attorney and his assistant is in here, and you got them cracking up. I said the attorney and his assistant is here, and they're in here cracking up laughing.
It's true. They know it's true. Look at this. Look at the world. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Then they got Black Lives Matter. If you want my opinion, all lives matter.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Me too.
Black lives, green lives, purple lives. You know, the lives they better watch. They better watch these over on alien lives.
Ooh.
There's stuff coming on stuff and now we got bigger problems soon.
Yeah.
Anyway, I really do appreciate you giving me a voice. And,
Yes.
And I hope that y'all do make contact with Dave and that everything.
Yeah.
But I hope to be home and then I just give all y'all a big kiss and a big hug.
Okay. Well, I don't think I'm gonna try.
But yeah, don't kiss people. Don't kiss men who came out of jail after 20 years. That's not safe.
Really?
All right, Dr. York.
Barbara?
Thanks, and we'll
Wait, is our hour up? Because I wanted to ask a few more questions, if you don't mind.
Well, we had a half hour really.
Oh, good. So we got
Yes.
another half an hour.
So, no, we had a half an hour. It was 40 minutes. But...
All right. Baba,
Yeah.
so is there anything you need me to do?
Like I tell you, contact the people that know what's going on so y'all can be on the right page. Because y'all might be able to help. Come on, don't run. I'm not pushing nobody away. Don't think I'm trying to push you away. I'm pulling you in.
Okay.
But the more the merrier. So a lot of things on the wall, something sticks.
Okay, so there's somebody, right? That there's a person that's with a judiciary, that's part of the judiciary committee. That I would like to review some things. And do you think it's good to do that?
I'm not a lawyer.
No, I'm just asking your opinion because you know you have abilities to see things.
You asked me what I think. My thing is, instead of y'all versing each other, humbly contact Victoria, humbly contact Takina, and humbly contact my son Darcio, who's in Ghana, right? But they're in Liberia now. But contact the people so you can hear them say, it's already done. Because I tell them to contact you. Right? I said, gotta find her, because one of your mails got rejected, but because you put stamps, right?
Mm-hmm.
On it, that means I get your address. You see, if you send the stamps, they'll have to give me your address. And they take the stamps and send it back to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I got your address, so I gave it to all of them and said, contact her so we can contact Mr. Hank Johnson and let him know that that person lied to him. Because he was working to get me out of here back then about the Richardson violations of the judge. He was supposed to recuse himself instead of taking the case, knowing that he was on a case with my wife, right?
Yes.
Or my other wife, okay?
What other wife?
I'm polygamy, okay? I have more than one. I'm an African. We're lucky we allowed to get more than one. Well, in some respects we're lucky because one wife is never mind. I know you understand what I'm saying.
I got
Well,
you.
what you was going to say? You said one wife what?
I was getting ready to put my foot in my mouth, so I'm not going to say it for my heat. Like I said, the attorney, if he's a male, he's married, he knows what
You didn't have to finish the sentence. I get you,
Okay,
Doctor.
thank you, sir.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for calling.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
Baba,
Yeah,
I love you.
I know you do.
Okay.
Stay strong.
When I'm going to hear from you?
You're going to see me soon and didn't hear me.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.
So now let me give you Victoria's information.
Let's
So
go.
you saying
Let's go
that-
into my office.
Yeah, let's go in your office because we got to figure out and see if this is what's real from what's fake.
Yeah.
Because you said they're lying to him, right? Oh, excuse me. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. Okay.
with mine. This is
All right.
personnel.
All right. I need this. I'm gonna take some notes. Hi. Okay. This your office?
Yep.
Oh, this is cool. You get to fall out and go to sleep here if you want to. Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, I think he's definitely mistaken. And the thing is, he's so excited that he doesn't want to hear it.